The ceiling fan made a slow, lazy circle, stirring the heavy scent of perfume and whiskey in the room. Blessing's eyes were half closed, her fingers lazily tracing patterns on Chief Okonkwo's sweaty chest. His heavy breathing filled the silence, his large stomach rising and falling as he lay beside her, satisfied. She stretched, pretending to yawn. "Chief, you know the arrangement," she murmured, her voice playful but firm. Chief Okonkwo chuckled. "You know they waste time at all," he said, sitting up and reaching for his trousers. His thick fingers fished out a bundle of cash from the back pocket. Blessing smiled as she collected it. She didn't need to count it. Chief never shortchanged her. Every December, he came to collect what was his, and in return, she had another year of free accommodation. No begging, no struggling, just one night, and her rent was settled. "Blessing, you too sweet," Chief said, pulling on his shirt. "If no be my wife, I for carry you go house." She laughed. "Leave that one, Chief. Your wife don't go London since, you no fit even enjoy yourself well." Chief laughed too, but it was an uneasy laugh. He stood up, adjusting his agbada. "I go see you later," he said, heading for the door. "Remember, no call me unless important." She waved him off, already picking up her phone to text her friend Sonia. "Rent is cleared, babe." "Nah, God do am." She had barely sent the message when a knock sounded on her door. She frowned. It was late. Nobody visited her at this hour except her chest tightened. Could it be Chief again? She opened the door and froze. Standing there, dressed in a simple but elegant lace boo-boo, was Madame Okonkwo. Her face was calm, her eyes sharp like a blade. "Good evening, Blessing," she said softly. "We need to talk." Blessing's heart dropped. Blessing's fingers tightened around the door handle. Her heart pounded, but she forced a smile. "Madame Okonkwo, good evening, ma." Madame Okonkwo stepped inside like she owned the place. Technically, she did. She looked around, her eyes taking in the well-arranged room, the expensive perfumes on the dresser, the neatly folded duvet on the bed. Then she turned to Blessing, her lips curling into a slow smile. "You've lived here for how long?" she asked, her voice too calm. Blessing swallowed. 4 years, ma." Madame Okonkwo nodded. "And you have never owed rent?" Blessing felt sweat gather at the back of her neck. She opened her mouth, but no words came out. What was she supposed to say? That she paid with her body? That her husband was the bank? The older woman chuckled softly, shaking her head. "You think I don't know?" She stepped closer, her perfume filling the air with something strong and expensive. "I have been watching. Every December my husband finds an excuse to visit this compound. You think I didn't notice?" Blessing's legs felt weak. She wanted to sit, but she knew that would make her look smaller, more guilty. So she stood straight, keeping her face blank. "Madam, Shut up." The calmness in Madame Okonkwo's voice vanished. "I have tolerated this nonsense for too long. You think you are smart." Blessing's mouth went dry. "I should throw you out this night." Madame Okonkwo continued, "But I won't. Instead, you will refund every kobo of the rent my husband has paid for you." Blessing's head snapped up. "Refund?" Madame Okonkwo smiled again. "Yes, every kobo." She adjusted her wrapper. "You have 1 week." Then, without another word, she turned and walked out, leaving the door open behind her. Blessing stood there, numb. 1 week. Where would she find that kind of money? Blessing locked the door and leaned against it, her chest rising and falling rapidly. 1 week? Where would she find that kind of money? She grabbed her phone with shaky hands and dialed Chief Okonkwo. The call rang once, twice, then went straight to voicemail. She tried again. Still no answer. Her stomach twisted. This was bad. Very bad. She sat on the edge of her bed, gripping her forehead. She had never saved a kobo from the money Chief gave her. Everything had gone into wigs, clothes, food, and flexing. She had always assumed the arrangement would continue forever. Her phone buzzed. A message. Sonia. "Babe, I day club. You no go come out?" Blessing bit her lip. Sonia had always told her to save for rainy days, but she had laughed it off. Now, the rain had come like a flood. She decided to try Chief one more time. This time, he picked up. "Blessing, what is it?" His voice was sharp, irritated. "Chief, I'm in trouble," she whispered. "Your wife came here." Silence. Then, "She came there? What did she say?" Blessing swallowed hard. "She said I should refund all the rent money." Chief sighed heavily. "See, Blessing, I don't want problem. My wife is already watching me. I can't help you." Her hands trembled. "Chief, please, you can't just leave me like this." "Blessing," his voice lowered, "if you disturb me again, you will regret it." The line went dead. Blessing stared at her phone, her throat dry. Chief had abandoned her. The panic rose in her chest like fire. She had to think. Who could she turn to? She scrolled through her contacts. Most of the men she had entertained were just like Chief, users. They had taken what they wanted and moved on. Tears stung her eyes. She had been playing a game she thought she was winning, but now the game was playing her, and she was losing. Blessing lay on her bed, staring at the ceiling. Her heart pounded in her chest, her mind racing in circles. 1 week. Madame Okonkwo had given her just 1 week to return all the rent money. And Chief? The same man who moaned in her ears, who whispered sweet nonsense while gripping her waist, had abandoned her like a used rag. A sharp pain squeezed her chest. What was she going to do? She sat up and grabbed her phone. She started scrolling through her contacts, old lovers, men she had entertained. Maybe someone could help her. Maybe, her finger hovered over a name. Toby. Toby had been different. He was the only one who ever treated her like a human being, not a plaything. He had wanted something real, but she had laughed at him. Abeg, who love help. She had ignored his calls, left his messages unread. Now she was about to beg him. She exhaled and pressed call. The phone rang. Once. Twice. Then hello? His deep voice sent a strange feeling through her chest. She swallowed. Toby, it's me, Blessing. Silence. Then, Blessing. His tone was cautious, distant. Yes, I need help. Her voice cracked. Toby was quiet for a long time. Then finally he sighed. Where are you? A fresh tear slid down her cheek. My house. Okay, he said, I'm coming. She dropped the phone and covered her face with her hands. Had she made the right choice? 30 minutes later, a knock sounded on her door. She opened it to see Toby standing there, dressed in a simple t-shirt and jeans. He looked at her, then at the half-packed bags in the room. What's going on? He asked. Blessing bit her lip. Then, with tears in her eyes, she whispered, Toby, I think I'm about to lose everything. Toby stepped inside, his eyes scanning the room, the half-packed bags, the untouched food on the table, the desperation written all over Blessing's face. Talk to me, he said, his voice calm but firm. Blessing swallowed hard. Where would she even start? That she had been paying her rent with her body, that she thought she was in control, only for life to humble her. Tears welled in her eyes. Toby, I messed up, she whispered. She told him everything, about Chief, about Madame Okonkwo's visit, about the 1-week deadline that was now just 5 days away. When she finished, silence filled the room. Toby exhaled, rubbing his hand over his face. Blessing, you put yourself in this kind of situation? She nodded, ashamed. I thought I was smart. Toby leaned back, staring at the ceiling. Then he laughed, but there was no humor in it. And now that it has crashed, you remember me? Blessing's heart squeezed. Toby, I know I don't deserve your help. I know I treated you like nothing, but please, I have nowhere else to turn. Toby was quiet. Blessing wiped her eyes. I will change. I just need a chance. Minutes passed. Then finally, Toby reached into his pocket and pulled out his phone. How much is the money? He asked. Blessing's breath hitched. 500,000. Toby shook his head. That's a lot. Blessing bit her lip. I will pay you back, I swear. Toby exhaled. Then he did something that shocked her. He transferred the money. Just like that. Her phone beeped. 500,000 credited. Blessing's hands shook. Toby, Don't thank me, he cut in. This is not free money. This is your last chance. No more shortcuts, no more stupid games. If you mess up again, I won't be here. Blessing nodded quickly, tears streaming down her face. I won't, I promise. For the first time in years, she felt something real. Gratitude, regret, hope. She had played a dangerous game and almost lost everything. But this time, life was giving her one last chance, and she was ready to take it.